All right, welcome back to Fleck Talks, a podcast, episode 271. Today on the show, neocons in Israel are trying to drag us into World War III. We're going to tell you why MAGA doesn't listen. Then, we were told Stephen Miller is secretly running the government. We're going to tell you why we're happy about that. Then we have some trans public service providers and Cringe of the Week you're not going to want to miss. And last but not least, Whoopi Goldberg says one of the most retarded things I've ever heard a celebrity say in Urban Decay. All this and more, it's Fleck Talks, a podcast, episode 271, ranked the best news podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleck Talks, the podcast featuring Richard Grabber.
All right, 1 for 1 on the intro, as always. Guys, new flavor alert. Farmer Bill has been cooking, and beef jerky is never going to be the same. He just launched 2 new flavors, garlic and herb and smokehouse. These 2 flavors were personally blended by Farmer Bill, and as you guys know, no other beef jerky company does it like Farmer Bill's does. Most jerky companies source their garlic from China because it's cheaper, but Chinese garlic is toxic and contains heavy metals. It would be easy for Farmer Bill to cut corners and no one would even know, but Farmer Bill is a patriot and only sources American garlic. The garlic and herb is a perfect blend of garlic, rosemary, parsley, and basil, and the smokehouse flavor is unlike anything else on the market. He's using smoked paprika, turmeric for a savory and smoky flavor with no liquid smoke, no nitrates, no soy, and no sugar. Just beef, apple cider vinegar, sea salt, and spices. You can bundle these with an 8-ounce slab or buy the bestseller bundle, which includes free shipping. The bestseller bundle includes original, spicy chili, garlic and herb, and smokehouse, a half-pound slab, and 2 jars of their grass-fed tallow balm. Use code FLECKUS20 at checkout for 20% off of your order, a massive offer. Go to farmerbillsprovisions.com. FLECKUS20 is the code. Let's support Farmer Bill. He's a patriot and a show watcher. FLECKUS20 is the code for 20% off. FarmerBillsProvisions.com is the website. It's also linked in the description. Thank you to Farmer Bill for sponsoring. Let's get into housekeeping.
Farmer Bill's Provisions, the perfect protein snack.
All right. Thank you to Farmer Bills for sponsoring.
Thank you, Farmer Bill.
Thank you, Farmer Bill.
Thank you, Farmer Bill.
Very grateful.
Thank you, Farmer Bill.
Thank you, Farmer Bill. We love Farmer Bill, and those new flavors are fantastic. It's scaling, baby. New flavors.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Happy Friday, everybody. We're sorry we missed you on Tuesday. I have a little bit of a surprise for you. If you missed that Tuesday bonus land and you want to watch it, it's linked in the description.
You just giving it away now?
Giving it away to give everyone a taste of what bonus land is like. And if you like it, sign up.
Okay, smart.
I'm a very generous man.
There you go.
All right, guys, we have a lot to get to. I'm not just saying this. I really like the script that's in front of me.
Yeah, good script. A lot of stuff happened. We have a knack of taking the wrong time off.
Yeah, it's called Take the Wrong Time Off sometimes.
And then we have a knack of filming right before major breaking news.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
I don't know. It's a good episode, though. A lot of people getting angry. A lot of people are worked up. They're all mad, fighting online.
Yeah, they're very upset.
A lot of people warmongering.
MAGA's split.
Yeah.
Some of them. Some of
you guys have what seems to be a dual loyalty somewhere.
The Dave Rubin homosexual type.
But we'll get into that. A lot of same people who were big DeSantis guys.
Yeah, I'm noticing that too.
mad.
But let's not jump ahead of ourselves.
All right.
Let's ease into the show.
Okay.
Let's ease into it. First things first, conservatives are more happy than Democrats.
Yeah, the liberal-conservative happiness gap persists across all demographics.
That's pretty good.
And we've shown some similar charts and data to this before, but it's men versus women, and men are happier than women in general.
Yeah.
Women, they're just mad all the time.
And then we know that half of liberal women are mentally ill and taking pills.
Yeah. And Gen Z, some things that are popping out, I'll just kind of go over it. Gen Z is pretty sad. Gen Z women, miserable. And then household income, conservatives versus Democrats, or liberals, conservatives who make less than $30,000 a year in household income are the same level of happiness as liberals who make over 100K.
That feels good.
So money can't help them. All you need, I gotta live in a small town. My kids like me.
Yeah, they have a job. They use my hands. I build stuff. I go home to my wife.
Yeah, liberals are a miserable bunch.
They're mad, and they're mad at made up stuff. And conservatives are optimistic, and they want to build a nice future, and they want to improve things. Liberals just want to destroy, and when you have the destroy mindset, how much can you really be happy?
Yeah, and then I feel like in terms of our show, at least, we are pointing out things we're upset about, things that are wrong, things that should be different. But then I don't go and internalize that and like have a scowl on my face.
So
I'm laughing and doing bits after.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
They internalize it and they see it as injustice everywhere.
Yeah.
And it ruins their lives, apparently.
It does. All right, let's move on. Maybe one of the reasons conservatives are so happy is because Stephen Miller is secretly running the government.
That's giving me some squirts. These are just some headlines. Stephen Miller is running the DOJ, and Pam Bondi is just a figurehead, report claims. She is like an actor.
I fucking hope so.
Kristi Noem demoted to PR person as Stephen Miller runs DHS, ex-insider.
This is what we need. This is what I'm happy to hear. There's a picture of Stephen Miller there. He's looking mogged out, Chad status. And he doesn't tweet about Israel either. He just grinds all day until the illegals are gone.
Yeah. And again, these headlines are from an ex or a disgruntled someone who left. It's like, how true is it? I don't know. I'm hopeful.
Hope it's all true.
At least for the DHS specifically.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we got some Stephen Miller memes here. I trust the plan. Something happens. I question those that question the plan. I read Stephen Miller's tweets.
Feels good when you read his tweets.
Yeah, he's completely ignoring foreign policy, and he's very focused on domestic, and that's where he needs to be, you know?
Yep. And then we have one of his tweets here that I thought was pretty good. It's about the how Joe Biden brought in all these illegals. Biden let approximately 10,000 illegals into the United States daily. Daily. The flood washed in. Now it must go back out.
Yeah. He's always thinking. It's like a guy obsessed with chess. He's doing moves in his head. He's playing against an opponent, except it's illegal immigration in America.
That's so true.
Happy to have you, Stephen.
And then the left has been attacking him, and they did this. They made like an AI image of him as a gargoyle. Like this is Gavin Newsom's press office.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because, as Cernovich says, depicting a Jew as a goblin would be the end of the road for anyone on the right. When you're a Democrat, you can do anything from an official government account. The ADL won't make a peep.
Yeah.
It's pretty true.
Yep.
And then what does the other one say?
It would be actually good to build a border wall with these on top every few feet.
That'd be sick.
Stephen Miller gargoyles, yeah.
I like the Stephen Miller gargoyles. I would order that if they had them.
Yeah, and Stephen Miller, if you're watching, if you're listening, please grab as much power as you can. Take on more roles. Just, DOJ, DHS, take another department.
Don't even ask for permission. All right, let's get to our next story. It's still developing, and we're going to keep digging.
We want to mention, because we covered it in the Bonus Land episode. Bonus Land was like half an episode. We're getting new numbers about deportations that up to 1 million people have self-deported.
Yeah, we're going to get to that.
Are we talking about it again?
In the migrant section,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Jump the gun, but it's okay. You're excited about the content.
Well, I just want to make sure, and a lot of times we blur the line between Bonus Land and real life, and that's an important number. Self-deportations are up.
Very important. All right, we have another story here. It's about FBI and Kash Patel. We're still digging on it. It's still developing, it sounds like. But it turns out China was involved in the rigging of the 2020 election.
Yeah, the FBI has located documents which detail alarming allegations related to the 2020 election, including allegations of interference by the CCP. Kash Patel says, I have immediately declassified the material and turned over the documents to Chairman Grassley for further review.
So hopefully that turns into something. But just to recap, the global deep state made the virus. They controlled the media's lying dissemination of it. They locked us down. They took our rights away. They destroyed our businesses. They transferred all the wealth to the rich people. They crashed the economy on Trump. Then they stole the election with mail-in ballots with the George Floyd kicker.
Yeah,
it's
George Floyd side piece with the George Floyd on the side. Racial tension.
It's an incredible parlay, and it was so well executed, and obviously it was against us, which sucks, but you have to respect the grind and the execution of the plan.
It's like an orchestra. It's like a beautiful orchestra. just committing violence against
And
you.
then at the end you go, George Floyd!
George.
And don't forget who is complicit in all this. Obviously the media, but our media too, Fox News. Remember that they called the election early, or at least didn't really encourage people to wait or look into the results that much. Can you read that tweet?
Yeah, never forget what they did. The theft started when Fox fraudulently called Arizona for Biden, and they stopped counting votes. Pennsylvania, Trump up 16% with 65% in. Michigan, Trump was up 10 with 59% in. Georgia, Trump up 8% with 83% in. And Wisconsin, Trump up 5 with 82% in.
And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, there's all the extra Biden votes we were waiting for.
Yeah, and the main assertion of these documents that Kash Patel declassified was that China wanted to help create fake IDs and send them over to America so people could register to vote with an ID, get a mail-in ballot, and then help Joe Biden out.
Not good.
And we'll never know. We'll never know how many were fake or how many were kind of abused, but it was a clean op by them.
It was a very clean op, and Fox News was complicit, just like they're complicit in trying to get us to go to this next war.
Yeah.
Can you read that opening tweet that starts us off?
Well, Iran-Israel's been heating up, and this just came out. The White House says Trump will make the decision on whether to attack Iran within 2 weeks.
I do want to say this. We're not fully involved in this war at the moment. And obviously that could change if Israel false flags us and blames Iran. But right now, we're not involved in the war. A lot of people say, oh, Trump's owned by Israel. Tel Aviv was getting airstruck and we didn't do anything.
Yes.
Israel's missiles are pretty much almost fully depleted and we're not restocking them.
Okay.
So there are some things here where, there's some good stats. We're not cooked yet. We're not getting dragged into this war just yet, just because Israel's our number one ally.
And a lot of people are being hyperbolic online, Zion Dawn and all that stuff. So you're right that we haven't really, nothing's happened yet.
And Tel Aviv got airstruck.
Yeah.
Think like, oh, time to go. Like we're in now. So I'm optimistic for now. I might do it. I might not do it. I might have done it already. Nobody knows. Trump Zoo. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
And a lot of neocons.
And 2 weeks gives people a lot of time to settle down. Trump says we'll decide in 2 weeks. So people better start talking, negotiating with the threat of the U.S. doing something. A lot of people forget the let him cook phase that we have to do, which is the threat of going crazy on you, the threat of destroying you. And if that brings to term some negotiations, then great. But a lot of people, too many arguments, too much hyperbole, too much accusations. Let's all chill out. Nobody wants a war, right? For the most part, except for a very specific set of guys who we're going to get into.
Yeah, we're really going to
who are really begging for it. Hannity,
Levin, Mark Levin, Dave Rubin.
Rubin types.
Yeah, all bad stuff. We're going to get into that. And keep in mind, we're getting all these warmongers ringing the bell as if Alaska got attacked.
Yeah.
Or as if they're coming across onto the beach in California.
5 minutes to midnight. It's happening right now.
It's 5,000 miles away, and it's two countries I don't care anything about. And they say, oh, Iran can't get a nuke. Why not? Do you want to go make one? They'll probably blow themselves up before they actually use it.
You better stop them then. I don't know. Why are you yelling at me?
Israel has nukes.
Hey, Iran can't get a nuke across the street. Okay, I don't know. What are you doing? I'm going to work.
Don't see how I'm involved in that.
Yeah, exactly.
But a lot of the neocons are saying, like I said, we need to fight Iran because Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. And they've been saying this for 20 years. Here's the proof.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year. It could be within a few months.
They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade.
Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
So for 30 years, they've been saying that.
Crazy. But now it's really the time right now.
Now they're really close. And he's either lying or planting the seed over the years because the world script calls for nuclear war in the Middle East, and he's just kind of setting the tone and setting the table for what's coming eventually.
Okay.
You know?
Not sure I follow you there.
It's like if,
I think he just wants America in his backyard doing what he wants, and you know?
Yeah, or there is an inevitable war in the Middle East that the elites are going to force us into and then try to make like a one world government after. I don't know. Maybe the aliens come and stop the war. That's possible.
Okay. All right. Now you're slipping. You're sliding.
Let's get into our next clip. What's his name? Randy Fine?
Yeah, Randy Fine.
Randy Fine. I'm sure that's a shortened name.
And this is a Republican rep. This is a Republican rep.
This is a Republican rep, and this is what he says about why we need to be involved in this war.
In World War II, we did not negotiate a surrender with the Nazis. We did not negotiate a surrender with the Japanese. We nuked the Japanese twice in order to get unconditional surrender. That needs to be the same here. There is something deeply, deeply wrong with this culture, and it needs to be defeated.
Did you really mean to say that the U.S. should use nuclear weapons against a people because there's something wrong with their culture?
Of course not. What I was saying is that we didn't negotiate with evil in World War II. We defeated the Germans. We defeated the Japanese using any means that were necessary. And the same needs to be done in Gaza. Nuking Gaza would be a terrible idea. The fallout would drift into Israel. It would kill the hostages. The point that I was making was,
but you're not worried about it
sit down
killing,
and say,
for example, women and children in Gaza who, you know, the innocents?
I think war is a messy thing. And I think that when you...
You can't nuke Gaza because the fallout would drift and that would get into Israel and into the hostages. And that's why you can't nuke innocent women and children, because it could actually affect the hostages.
American politician, guys, and a Republican.
He's a Mossad agent.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's not sincere because when you hear him talk, you don't believe him.
Yeah, for sure.
You just get the vibe of like, what's this fat fuck retard talking about? And we have a picture of him. I'm not just saying fat fuck retard for nothing.
Yeah, that's a bad shape too. You know, there's fat and then there's bad shape fat. He's got like the skinny top all around the midsection, kind of like a woman.
You would agree I don't look like that at all.
Not even close. What would you put him at? 360? 365?
405.
Depends on how tall he is. I'm ranging 365 to 380. But that's a real pig, and he's a real Israel warmonger. We're talking about nuking Gaza?
He's obsessed.
It's crazy. And then we found this tweet from him, which is like, these are the people who are holding elected office. And it says, there is a reason the first time I shook Netanyahu's hand, I did not wash it until I could touch the heads of my children.
The fuck are you talking about?
What kind of people are in our government? So crazy. That's warmonger number one, right?
Yeah, and just the last closing note before we move on Randy Fine. Would you agree that whatever chair he sits in at home is very broken in?
Yeah, like leather, creased. And you might even have a grease stain on the back of his head. You know how an old guy sits in?
Yeah, it's very
broken
disgusting.
If not broken.
I just want to make that point. You don't hear that point on many other podcasts, I don't think.
For sure. No, nobody's pulling that thread like us at Fleckus Talks, the podcast.
All right, next we have Mark Levin crying on TV to fight for Israel.
Yeah, so where are they? They're nowhere. How about China? Nowhere. How about Russia? Nowhere. What happened to World War III? There is no World War III. They all sound like a bunch of Marxist Islamists. They don't sound like patriotic Americans. Let me be clear. This is good versus evil. You're either a patriotic American who's going to get behind the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, or you're not. One other thing.
Yeah, I don't think Muslims are the Marxists, brother. I think you got that one pretty much completely backwards.
Yeah.
And here we have Mark Levin and Rabbi Shmuley.
I got some Shmuley on me.
Very disgusting. And Mark Levin sucks. He has horrible ratings. He didn't do well at Fox. They put him on a random Saturday show that no one watched. And now they bring him in for prime time to beat the war drum with Hannity.
Which is strange. And then if you think about someone like this, when's the last time you heard him go crazy over something? When's the last time you've seen people yell on TV like this? There's only a very small set of specific issues. Like our border was getting invaded. There were caravans coming. People weren't this histrionic on TV. So why this issue? It's so strange, and it should be illuminating to people who are watching this show and people who are paying attention. Like, wow, he's going crazy for the Israel-Iran thing.
Yeah.
And that's not even World War III. You know, that's like a regional skirmish at this point. No, China and Iran and Russia, I don't think they're getting involved. And it's not even World War III. It's a regional skirmish by a regime, Israel, which is like ahead of Iran. And this is what you're yelling on TV about?
And Iran.
Yeah.
I live in Florida. There's nothing Iran here.
Yeah. No worries, brother.
Hey, it's all good. I'm trying to do keto, like nothing to do with Iran.
Trying to do keto. 20 million migrants came in last 4 years. I don't know if you guys hear about that. Did you hear about that shit or no?
And it's like you're talking about parts of the map that like in 10 lifetimes I would never go to.
Yeah.
So don't worry about Iran, brother.
Mark Levin, I would never vote for Trump. That's like the type of guy who's now in Trump's ear. Like, we must do it.
And then he says this, we in real MAGA, real American patriots, stand with you, Mr. President, our military and our Israeli allies. So the guy who said I would never vote for Trump, and he was banging the drum on that too, how Trump is bad and whatever. Now he's saying, hey, in real MAGA, we support Israel and Trump. I don't think you know what real MAGA is, brother.
I think you're a late Johnny come lately.
Yeah. And similar to this, Ben Shapiro is doing the same thing. Believe it or not. Can you guys believe it?
No.
Ben Shapiro's making us go to war for Israel again?
He calls Israel her. She will handle herself. Israel will handle herself.
And look, I'm going to cook here for a little bit. Okay. I found this old article from 2005, Why War in Iraq is Right for America. So there's a little meme where you just switch the Q for an N, Why War in Iran is Good for America.
And then he changed the 2005, he changed it to 2025. Yeah, you can recycle it. It's the same argument, probably.
So Ben Shapiro has, on the record, over the years, promoted all of these wars, these regime change wars, because it benefits Israel. Yeah. And then it makes you wonder, how many Israelis fought in Iraq? Short answer, no Israeli soldiers officially fought in the Iraq war from 2003 to 2011 alongside coalition forces.
Weren't even part of the coalition.
That's weird. We have to fight your wars and you're not even there? And then can you read that next paragraph?
There's no definitive evidence. I haven't read this yet, so you might be leading me to something. There's no definitive evidence that Israel has sent troops to directly assist the United States in its military conflicts since Israel creation in 1948 up to 2025. The U.S.-Israel relationship has primarily centered on U.S. military and economic aid to Israel, intelligence sharing, and strategic cooperation rather than Israeli troop deployments in U.S.-led wars.
That's interesting. So they want us to go to all these wars and do these regime changes in all these Middle Eastern countries, but then they don't even send their own boys.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this next tweet I thought was great. Can you read that?
Yeah, Jewish N-words be like, we don't control the government, and then force America to destroy their enemies for 25 years.
Yeah, it's very true. Mm-hmm. And that's what it feels like. And then, I don't know if you guys saw, Ted Cruz was on Tucker discussing his beliefs. And he was trying to justify us aiding and supporting Israel because the Bible tells us to, and as a Christian, he feels like he's supposed to. Yeah. Here's that clip.
For your information, so first of all, my religion is Christian. That's my religion. Because God was born in Bethlehem, Israel. You see, I learned about God.
So that was Ted Cruz explaining how the Bible tells him to support Israel, the country that was invented 70 years ago.
1948, that country, yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu runs it. That's the Bible. The Bible says we need to give them Tomahawk missiles. The Bible said that.
Yep, and then the right-wing homosexuals were getting involved in the action as well. Can you read that Dave Rubin tweet?
If Iran goes down and the people rise up, there genuinely could be world peace for many years. Oh, so he dangles some hope in front of a...
Just like the other regime changes worked out, right?
Yeah. Nor in some utopian way, but in a real world new dawn way. Terrorism will no longer be funded, orchestrated, or funded by a state in any meaningful way. He's got typos in this. Worldwide jihad and the brain-broken obsession with Jews in Israel will be left utterly fruitless. The obsession with Israel will be fruitless as long as you get involved in this one. One last hit.
Let us be the ones obsessed with them as the good guys.
Yeah. You get the point.
We get the point. Yeah.
We don't need to.
And then we have...
Long paragraphs. He's writing line breaks. You know, you type a tweet like this, several lines, kind of takes you a lot of time. You're like, oh, let me think. Yeah, then I'll hit him with this. Then I'll do this. A lot of effort, a lot of crying, a lot of yelling. Everyone's getting involved in this issue. This is the important issue. 40 million illegals here, by the way.
Voter fraud, 40 million illegals, COVID. This is the one that everyone needs to start rounding the troops up for. And then Trey Yingst tweeted, Israeli hospitals should be protected. Palestinian hospitals should be protected. Iranian hospitals should be protected. This isn't hard. And then Dave Rubin goes, Trey, for fuck's sake, at this point, why do you do this? And
what
it's like,
the hell is going on with some of these people, man?
But it's because Dave Rubin's a tough guy. He lives in a Miami condo with his literal husband. He's a tough guy.
And the 2 kids he acquired from some poor mother who was probably not the most financially well off.
Yeah.
Took the 40 grand a piece.
Yeah, he's a tough guy.
Or whatever it was. Yeah.
He's ready to fight in the war if he needs to.
He's enlisting.
And then he makes you wonder, what are we fighting for? What are Israelis up to while this war is taking place? And I actually found a clip.
When you're a power gay in a bomb shelter with sexy Tel Aviv power gays, what do you think, guys? You could be anywhere in the world. I think I kind of want to be here. All these hunkies.
I get it. That room gets stinky.
Oh, yeah.
That room, the walls get condensation from all the sweat. And that room is one of the worst places on earth.
You see that teacup Yorkie or whatever back there?
They involve him.
Yeah. Disgusting shit.
That room is bad.
That's what Dave Rubin's defending.
Yeah, that's what Dave Rubin likes it so much.
I know. Makes sense.
If you don't want to be the cleaning lady.
Yeah.
It's very disgusting. So yeah, all these fake MAGA types are showing their cards now with the Iran can't have nukes and we need to support our greatest ally. But remember, Israel is not even our ally. They spy on us. They've attacked us. They lie to us. They flooded the West with third worlders via NGOs. Many of those NGOs are disguised as Catholic NGOs, but they're actually not. And the right-wing Jews start the wars, and the left-wing Jews bring the refugees into the Western countries. That's how it works. And then I found this prompt on Grok, and listen to what Israel did to help China's military.
Some guy said, Grok, did Israel modernize China's military? And was it against U.S.'s wishes? And it says, hey, you're throwing some spicy questions my way. All right, let's dig into this. Did Israel modernize China's military? Looks like there's some evidence from the 80s and 90s where Israel sold tank upgrades, UAVs, even some missile know-how to boost China's arsenal. Cash was tight for Israel's own projects, so it's not hard to see why they'd cash in. Was it against the U.S. wishes? Oh, you bet it ruffled some feathers. U.S. got mad enough to demand cancellations, and there's whispers of tech leaks that had them fuming. I'm not swallowing the official line whole, though. Governments love to spin tales. My guess, based on the patterns, is Israel played both sides to survive.
Oh, to survive, because they're under attack so much.
And the U.S. wasn't thrilled, but couldn't stop it entirely. I hate how Grok tries to be like a sassy thing like that. Like, just give me the fucking info. You're not my friend. You're an AI robot.
Yeah, played both sides. Like, who do you think did that?
Yeah.
Something to think about. Doesn't really sound like ally behavior.
Totally.
All right, that's the end of our Israel-Iran section. Let's move on to our migrant section.
I think the main point is look at everybody who's getting so mad and getting so up in an uproar and tweeting 40 times in an hour. Like the level of engagement and passion that you've never seen on any domestic topic. And then you think to yourself, I'm listening to this person for other stuff. Yeah, they make fun of the woke or the left. But then when this kind of important U.S. military question comes into play, they're all in on this. It's just a very strange thing. And you got to, like, I don't care about that country, that weird random country in the Middle East.
With 9 million people?
I don't really care about them. And then some people, they really care about that.
Makes you wonder.
And then I go, okay, cool. You're not really we don't have those shared values. So pay attention to that, right?
Yeah, it makes you wonder who had sex with the child on that secret island.
Certainly.
Is that what you were thinking?
No, I wasn't, but those are intertwined. Those are certainly intertwined.
Those people help too.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our migrant section. Nothing crazy, kind of a lighter migrant section because we have so much war stuff.
Yeah.
But I want to open up with this multiculturalism tweet and why it doesn't work.
Yeah, from Uncommon Sense, he said, Jews in America, we need all hands on deck to fight Iran in this war. White people in America, we need mass deportations to get our country back. Black people in America, where are our reparations? Mexicans in America, viva la raza, as they're waving the Mexican flag. Arabs in America, we need to support the Palestinians. Indians in America, we must expand the H-1B program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. You bring in all these people from all these other countries, and now your country is a hodgepodge of that, and all they care about is the countries they came from.
Just a bunch of random competing self-interested identity groups.
All with blood feuds.
And it's not great. Yeah.
It's not good for us. The good news is, which we kind of mentioned earlier, over 1 million illegals have self-deported since Trump took office. That's good. 1 million, 50 million total, 2%.
And it's interesting because this number is outpacing actual deportations by a good amount. I've had raw estimates on total number of deportations between like 100,000 to 200,000. And so if 1 million have self-deported, that's like a 5-to-1 ratio, which we had mentioned there exists a ratio of people who will just quit or it's gotten too hard and will give up. And now we're getting an idea of that ratio. And I will say, though, it's probably highest at the beginning when people who just got here are like, oh, my party's over.
Or
Might
like,
as well go back.
Or like kids who are off from school for the summer and then they go back to Mexico.
Yeah. That could be something. But, you know, it's a promising sign. And Stephen Miller, I hope he's paying attention and finding new ways to encourage them to get the fuck out.
Yeah. Stephen Miller, finish the episode, get back to work after.
Okay. Yeah. 2x speed. 2x speed.
2x speed, you can handle it. Then there's a new ICE ad or anti-ICE ad where they try to make fun of Republicans, and here it is.
I had a really good time today.
Yeah, me too. I really look.
What are you doing? She's coming with us.
What are you talking about? Who are you?
I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we're rounding up illegals.
She was born here. She's a citizen.
I don't care. She looks like one of them. But don't worry. When she's in prison in El Salvador, she'll have lots of company.
All right. Make that Republican Senator Stephen Miller, and I'd watch that show.
Yeah. This is new on Netflix, coming January 14th.
And they pretend that's what's happening here, as if like this nice 20-year-old girl who's in college.
English speaking, hot.
Perfect English speaking, very good looking. They're pretending that's who we're dealing with. And here's the reality. Illegals in libtard propaganda versus illegals in reality. They're selling fentanyl. They're doing bad shit. They look like shit.
Look like fucking they look like propaganda, negative propaganda.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and again, if this was who was coming across our border, the white women, oh, they'd go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't want these sexy Latinas stealing their shit. And yeah, so I mean, it's just fake. And then you remember the other ad we covered with this guy?
Where he's sucking somebody.
Yeah, I'm your Republican congressman. I need to service daddy. They make this guy do and say whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think he's not a Republican. He might be a Democrat actor.
I'm beginning to think he's an actor who never had any relevance, and he's taken $1,500 per spot.
Yeah, and he lives in a condo in Studio City.
Mm-hmm. With a roommate.
Yeah. All right, next, our last piece of the migrant section is kind of a rap boy brainchild section. He's going to cook on it. H-1B hidden tech job fraud.
Yeah, so H-1B obviously over Christmas became a hot topic with tech people being all, we need to get the top talent, blah, blah, blah. And the right wing is always talking about how it's at the expense of Americans and how people, there's like a little network of Indian people who hire other Indians and they chain migrate H-1Bs and they take small business loans. There's a big scammy problem with them. And this was a Twitter account, so it's like a guy's passion project about this next leg of the process that I didn't really know about. And so we thought we would share it on the show. This guy's Twitter account is called Discover Hidden Tech Jobs. And it's Jobs Now PR. And it says it's your gateway to the exclusive world of H-1B perm job postings as featured in Newsweek. So I'm going to read a couple of things that kind of sum up what exactly is happening here. Just stay with me. It's interesting, and it's a part of the process where they're scamming and kind of screwing over Americans who are looking for the jobs. So Jobs.now targets a specific stage of the H-1B employment-based visa process. And it's when an employer wants to sponsor an immigrant for a green card. Known as the perm process, H-1B holders can look to make their temporary visa permanent with a green card. but employers first have to test the market and see if they could, in fact, fill the role with a U.S. citizen or someone already in the country with legal resident status. If they can prove that no American is suitable for the role, then the immigrant worker can move forward with their green card application. So there's kind of this thing where, yeah, we can sponsor you to be a permanent resident, but you got to be the only guy who knows how to do this certain app thing, and nobody else is desperately looking for a job who's American, right? The underlying issue is that U.S. immigration policy requires most employers to do labor market testing at the perm stage, where they are sponsoring a foreign worker for the green card. I kind of already mentioned that.
So basically, they can give the green card and take that next step in the process, the green card for the migrant, as long as they couldn't find an American to fill that role. And then that gray area is where they take advantage, I'm assuming?
Exactly. And we're going to get into it in a second, but tech companies are kind of like dragging their heels or not exactly posting the job everywhere they would normally. They're not recruiting. A lot of these tech companies have someone in mind, like, oh, Jagpreet, here, technically we got to post the job before we can sponsor you for permanent residency in America. And then like there's 500 Americans who are like, I would fucking love that job. $240K a year at Meta, fully remote, and Jagpreet is getting it. So there are some Reddit posts here in reaction to this from the H1B subreddit where they all gather and talk about how to scam the system together. There is now a movement to explicitly derail perm applications by spamming applications regardless of qualifications. And that's in reference to this Twitter account I just mentioned. And then the guy goes on to say, even though most of these are specialized roles and they literally have zero experience because they're stealing our jobs and they have all the free time in the world. So he's complaining that Americans are actually applying for these jobs and jobs. So this is what they think of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then here's another one from another H-1B guy who thought he was getting the layup doing this process from his current employer. And he says, employer says they can't file perm because they received 400 applicants for my perm job. Hi, everyone. I work for a small U.S. tech company, and we're in the early stages of a perm-based green card sponsorship. HR posted my position, and so far has received 400 U.S. worker applications, and they expect roughly 600 total. HR is now telling me if we go through all 400 resumes and formally reject each applicant, it will flag us for a Department of Labor audit and could put the entire company at risk. We're thinking of just canceling the posting. My direct manager, however, says he's willing to personally review every single applicant, document that none are qualified, and move ahead with the perm filing.
So the resistance is actually working.
And do you see that key point there where it says
he's willing to risk the whole business?
Well, we're thinking of just canceling the posting.
Yeah.
So 400 Americans are applying. This business wanted to give the job and a green card to this Indian H-1B guy, and they're thinking of canceling it after getting so many applications, right? Crazy situation. And so a little bit more about the context of like the boxes they have to check to do this. The Department of Labor requires the roles to be listed publicly, including in at least 2 major Sunday newspapers, on a state workforce agency site and internally at the company itself. Employers also have to choose from 2 other advertising methods, such as job fairs or college campuses. So there's these rules that they have to do a fair, like open process to test the market and see if Americans want the job. And then interestingly enough, none of this is required when a company initially sets out to obtain an H-1B visa. So that's the precursor. So they don't have these rules. They just have them for when it's time for a green card. Here are some of the companies who are doing this. Amazon, Anheuser-Busch, IBM, Bank of America, Accenture. Major companies are doing this. And just to show you kind of how companies are, you know, that example we just showed where someone was like, they're thinking about just canceling the job posting after so many Americans did it. They're doing this in like a fucked up way where they're just trying to get some guy a green card and a permanent job. And it's not genuine. It's scammy, right? It's not like, oh, we really need a VP of sales here and it's open to anyone. May the best man win. It's like trying to get a weird thing for an Indian guy who's on a temporary visa.
They like Indian guy.
And so here's an example. Yes, thank you. Here's an example of a settlement of an employer who broke the law, basically. Justice Department secures a $25 million landmark agreement with Apple to resolve employment discrimination allegations based on citizenship status. Specifically, the department's investigation found that Apple did not advertise positions Apple sought to fill through the PERM program on its external job website, even though its standard practice was to post other job positions on that site. So they do it for jobs they were actually looking to fill, and then for a PERM job, they'd go, don't list it. It also required PERM position applicants to mail paper applications, even though the company permitted electronic applications for other positions. In some instances, Apple did not consider certain applications for PERM positions from Apple employees if those applications were submitted electronically, as opposed to paper applications submitted through the mail. So in what world, Apple, that tech company, and this is from 2023, Apple, that tech company, that tech giant, everything's on the phone and the Mac and the iPad.
Everything's computer.
Everything's computer. And they want you to mail in your application. And that's why they owe that's why they settled with the federal government for $25 million, right?
Good.
And then this comes on the heels of so that sums up the entire process, right? These companies post a job with someone in mind, and which is totally against what it's supposed to be. The H-1Bs are fuming online that Americans are applying to the jobs. They're mad at this Twitter account. Let's put the Twitter account back up again. Discover hidden tech jobs now. If you're an American and you want tech jobs, these are jobs that are good out there that are getting under-advertised. So this is like an expose on some of these companies. Go apply. Maybe you're qualified for some of these if you're in tech. But so that's the basic edge of the scam. And then to follow up from a story that we covered last episode where the meatpacking plant got raided, remember? And everybody goes, Americans don't want these jobs. Americans aren't going to pick strawberries. They're not going to do the meatpacking. The article says how a city in Nebraska is recovering after the state's largest worksite immigration raid. And it says, Omaha, Nebraska. Every seat in the waiting area of Glen Valley Foods was occupied with people filling out job applications early Thursday afternoon. So Americans want the meatpacking jobs. Americans certainly want the tech jobs, the remote, high-paying tech jobs. And we just need to bring more fucking awareness to this stuff because we're being screwed. And this is so in the weeds. Sorry to go on for so long, but it's so in the weeds that who knows this except for like an immigration lawyer?
Yeah.
Who knows this except for a very specific HR department lady who deals specifically with Indians? Yeah. So this type of shit should piss you off. And I'd go on Fox News and yell about this. I certainly wouldn't go on Fox News and yell about Israel or nothing.
That's a good point.
So this is the type of shit we need to be focused on. Stephen Miller.
Please,
Stephen Miller. Someone just funnel this up to Stephen.
Yeah.
Please.
He's watching.
And yeah, shout out to this guy because this is what makes America great, right? Like random guy who probably got screwed for a tech job once upon a time, figured out it was a inside job to get Jagpreet Patel his job. And he goes, I'm going to go scorched earth on this, post every single hidden perm job listing that there is and ruin these fucking companies' lives. And that's probably the nexus of how this Twitter account was created, right?
Yeah.
So good for you, and thank you for getting all this information together for us, because
no problem.
No, I'm talking to him. They're screwing us, They're screwing Americans and abusing systems. And then a lot of times it's Indians helping another Indian get into the job.
They like to help each other.
They love being exclusive.
All right. Good cook, Rat Boy.
Thank you.
That was a good cook sesh, and I'm going to take over from here for the final page of housekeeping.
Hopefully that wasn't too hard to follow because it's kind of like a niche thing. And again,
you got to do stuff to get the job. They didn't do the stuff. They gave the job. Indians.
Employers try to cheat. It's called sandbagging, They're sandbagging. Oh yeah, here's a job. If anybody wants it, know? And then these Indian guys jump on it. You got to mail it in.
So true.
It's very scummy shit.
All right, we're now on the final page of housekeeping. I'm going to cook for a little bit. Make sure you guys use the opportunity to tickle the post. Help us juice the out. Go leave a like, leave a comment, then comment again, then start yapping. P.O. Box needs to be full. Notifications need to be on. Old episodes need to be watched. And links to the episodes need to be sent to the boys in the group chat.
Smart.
All this and more. It's like that's a podcast. All right. First thing, we, on our last episode, talked about sign language and how they're bullshitting.
They're ballparking it.
They're just vibing it.
Yeah.
And I found another example.
Good evening. After a 2-day manhunt, 2 sleepless nights, law enforcement have apprehended Vance Bolter. That's 48 hours that law enforcement involved in a complex and dangerous manhunt. Spent Father's Day away from their families to deliver justice for Melissa and Mark Hortman.
It's like, get this person the fuck out of here. You're doing a press conference on like a manhunt of a murderer who assassinated people, and then like 2 feet away from you, you have like this lady going like this.
Yeah. She bumps into him, hits the water off the podium or something.
How many fucking deaf people are watching?
I don't know.
Get the fuck out of here. And everyone goes, oh, Fleck is, I'm a sign language teacher, and they are actually signing. I don't care. No, they're not.
She looked like she was. I think she spelled out Vance Bolter. You saw her fire off some letters really quick.
Everyone says it's real signing. It's not. This is what real signing looks like. This is signing from the 90s.
Life is much more challenging when you're deaf. It's hard to ask questions when signing is your way of communicating. I'm lucky to at least have partial hearing and the ability to sign.
That's real sign language.
Okay, and now it's liberal bullshit. Now it turned into bald lady face-making liberal bullshit.
It's all bullshit. That lady's not doing anything. Get her off the stage. Okay. This is distracting. We have the police commissioner here, the governor.
Yeah.
And then the third person up on the podium is going like this.
They're taking a lot of ground. I admit that.
I'm pissed.
Okay.
I feel like Mark Levin talking about Israel.
I agree.
All right, next I saw...
You do remind me of Mark Levin talking about Israel.
All right, next I saw a funny tweet. This is just a joke, but broke a rule by eating a snack before bed. It completely messed up my glucose, and I woke up feeling ill. Won't do that again. And can you read what someone replied?
Ozzy Osbourne had 2 bottles of vodka and then sang for 3 hours every other night for 3 decades.
That's pretty good.
To be fair, Ozzy Osbourne is retarded now.
Yeah, and he's all fucked up.
Yeah.
But everyone's a pussy. No, my glucose, I'm too affected by it.
People really go crazy with the monitoring and like my Whoop score.
Yeah.
People go crazy. And then it affects their life. And then they're kind of, it's like gamifying health. But then what's the eating pie with your son at 1 a.m? You know, like you can't really measure like life versus, oh, I'm doing what my watch told me, you know, going out for drinks with your wife or fiance or something.
I can't drink and drive and smoke cigarettes. It'll mess up my blood sugar.
All right.
And it's good to be healthy, obviously, but everyone's kind of becoming a pussy about it.
Yeah.
Speaking of health, this is something that actually is important. I tweeted the other day, boomer neighbor with no shirt on in his front yard spraying Roundup. Thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, waves to me as I drive by. And Roundup's obviously very bad for you. The glyphosate fucks you up. That's what affects the grains that we're eating too. It nukes your stomach. It's really, really bad for you. Avoid it at all costs. And then someone, a show watcher, replied an alternative to Roundup if you guys are looking to spray.
Said gallon of 30% vinegar, half cup of dish soap, half cup of salt, kills everything in its path. It's the best non-toxic way to keep weeds out of gravel, flower bed, or off your fence line.
That's nice.
Vinegar has a lot of uses. Vinegar, strong.
Especially the...
acidic.
Especially the second 2/3 of the word.
Oh, yeah. That's my favorite part.
All right, next, Harry Sisson posted this video. It's real.
And it goes all the way down behind me, all the way down. All the way down. We're out here, man. We're out here.
He's having fun.
Yeah.
And I think later he said the reason he didn't do the full wide shot was because he was bricked up.
Okay, that makes sense.
So he didn't want to
You talked to him? You spoke to him on the phone?
No, I just saw him get interviewed at the thing. And he goes, oh, only show up here. I'm bricked up.
Okay.
So he gets turned on by that shit. I mean, I'm not judging. Maybe him and Dave Rubin can hang out.
Yeah.
Someone made Big Joker on Twitter, our friend, made Guy Fieri memes for us. So there's me as Guy Fieri. And I wanted to do some Guy Fieri lore with you guys. I was watching Triple D the other day, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Yeah.
And then after, or actually the next day, I was watching Guy's Grocery Games. So Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives is Triple D. Guy's Grocery Games is Triple G.
Does he know about this?
Yeah, oh yeah, I heard him say it.
Oh, okay. So he did it intentionally. He likes alliteration.
But That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
That's
good
like
branding.
really good branding. So
Yeah.
I just wanted you guys to know that. That's huge. Okay. We've been doing iPads lately. Rapboy got an iPad. He inspired me, and I got an iPad too.
Yeah. I said, you want me to read the tweet? I've been iPad Kid maxing recently. Giant screen, scrolling reels, YouTube mini player while doing other stuff. I can see why toddlers get one-shotted by this.
Yeah. And
It's
I'm
addicting.
I'm addicted too, and I have it next to me, and I have all my stocks and cryptos or whatever on display, and it's constantly,
Constantly stimulating you, draining your cortisol.
Draining my cortisol.
Yeah.
That was what I was looking for.
And people were replying to, it's mostly a joke. I did get an iPad recently, and it's good for scrolling, and it like saves your phone battery when you're looking. And people are like, oh, yo, the iPad's bad for you. Like, you should do this, or like, get rid of the blue light, stuff like that. People make comments. It's like, guys, we run a internet clips podcast news thing. Do you think we're not constantly on some form? We have to be.
I turn my phone on night mode at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah,
hopefully that helps.
There's some steps you can take, but guys, we're constantly online. You know that.
We're fucked.
Yeah. So we actually need the iPad. It's a work expense too.
Yeah, we write it off.
Write it off. All right.
I was thinking about writing this off. Someone messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm a pretty good poker player. I want to do the World Series of Poker. If you sponsor me, we can split the profits." I'm thinking about sponsoring. It's only $10,000, which is a lot.
Only, yeah.
But only
with a random guy with like one Instagram follower who randomly DM'd you.
But it's $5,000 each. And then I would write it off.
True.
We would talk about it on the show, and then we could all tune in and watch.
Make him wear a hoodie.
Make him wear a hoodie. Yeah. Write the hoodie off. Okay. Quick thing. I'm going to cook on these next 2 points.
Okay.
The dog needs to go to the vet.
Jerry?
Well, I'm saying when it happens.
Okay.
He goes to the vet, and he's like this, and he's scared.
He smells 30 other dogs' piss piles. He hears barking from another kennel.
He probably had a bad experience when he was neutered, because ever since then, he has never been the same at the vet. He gets scared. They come to give him a shot, and he doesn't bite, but he kind of like...
Yeah.
Like,
he thinks about it.
He doesn't connect, but he knows something bad's happening. Why can't you have a sneaky vet that comes to your house? So someone comes in the door, they're dressed normal. Hey, what's up? Hey, Jerry, be nice. Oh, introduce yourself. Oh, hey, Jerry, nice to meet you. Oh, let me look in your ear real quick.
He starts checking him.
Hey, Jerry, you're a good boy. Got a little heart test right there, seeing your heart. Oh, you're good. Oh, Jerry, look over here.
Small prick.
Here's a little shot.
Small prick.
Why can't you have a sneaky vet that comes in, the dog doesn't even know what happened, and you get a checkup?
Hey, that's a good idea.
Thank you.
I did not expect that in Final Page of Housekeeping.
So that's a good idea. And my next idea you're going to like too.
Okay.
If bait fish were smart, they'd pretend to be dead. Because I take the dead ones and throw them in the water. That's their ticket out. Instead, when I try to get them, they swim fast, which is actually what I'm looking for.
Yeah. That's not an idea per se. But
if they were smart, they pretend to be dead and I throw them in the ocean, but they swim to get away from me and I'm looking for the fish who's swimming the hardest, so they're actually shooting themselves in the foot.
Okay, I get that. But, they're fish. They can't even remember 3 seconds ago, so.
All right.
They don't have the capability, so.
Well, that's it then.
The vet was a good one.
Yeah. All right, that's the end of our final page of housekeeping. Besides this Doppel, I do have a Doppel from this week. It's not even that good. You're the lady, though.
Discount Motors?
Yeah. That's me from Discount Motors, and then you're that lady.
Good for you.
All right, that's me. That is the end of housekeeping. We're now moving on to Cringe of the Week. All right, our first clip of Cringe of the Week, we have some gay public service providers. I don't know what a public service provider is, but I kind of just assume it's like police and bus drivers, and that's what we're talking about.
Sure.
So that kind of works. So this gay San Francisco cop, look what he's up to.
San Francisco sheriff.
He's showing his gay badge, and it becomes even gayer. Well, it was normal and then becomes gay, and he's a gay cop. It's actually a relief. I thought he was going to turn into a furry when he did the transition.
Oh.
But, and I do have a theory here. I'm going to cook for a little bit. I do think that the gay cop types are perfect for the deep state agenda to allow for more crime.
Okay.
Think about it. Gay people spend 6 to 8 hours a day of their screen time on Grindr on average. That's documented. And it's on average, so it's probably more. When gay cops do arrest someone, I'm assuming they offer the criminal a chance to be set free if they perform some sort of sexual favors. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You'd agree with that?
For sure.
And last but not least, the gay cops are probably on or just coming off of poppers when they go in to do their shift. Do you think cops can do their job on poppers?
I don't know. I've never had a popper. I don't know what it's like.
And you might think, oh, maybe they take them at the end of their shift when things are kind of quieting down. Either way, I don't think it's crazy to not want your cops on poppers.
That's very fair, yeah.
So you agree?
I totally.
Okay, good. And then the cop had the patch for the trans pride LGBT flag. As a reminder, it's the everybody except straight white people flag. That's what they're waving. And our next public service provider, do you have anything to say about that?
No, I mean, the cop's a pussy. He's a pussy, and he's probably on poppers, but that might be slander. So that's a joke. And yeah, grinder.
But he will refuse to take a drug test.
Yeah.
That's slander, but don't drug test me.
Yep.
Next public service provider who's doing weird LGBT stuff is this bus driver in Ontario, Canada, who is dressing as a schoolgirl. It's a man, and he calls his bus the Lolita line.
Yeah, the male bus driver in Ontario, Canada was confronted by parents after wearing a pink schoolgirl outfit while on the job and is allegedly calling his bus the Lolita line. Redux can confirm the video was taken at St. Michael the Archangel Elementary in Woodbridge. St. Michael the Archangel, protect us from
this demon.
From literally this. He has since been fired. And here's the up-close picture of his outfit, Chinaman.
Can't just leave the kids alone.
And my thing is, here, we want to play the video. We'll just play the video in the background. Here it is where the teachers are kind of mad at him, going, what the fuck's going on? And my main issue with this, my main point is, this guy was a normal bus driver for so long, probably kept the job, did it normal, and then just couldn't resist doing the sick, depraved guy thing. He was like, you know, there's the left brain, right brain, and I'm just making that up, but like the brain where it's like, yeah, no, I shouldn't do that. That's my personal sick shit. And then at some point it just leapt over and he goes, I'm going to try it.
Because it's Pride Month.
Who's, yeah, Barb, who's my boss? Who schedules it? Yeah, she's an ally. She's got my back.
Yeah, the dispatchers, they had a trans flag. I'm good to do this. It's Pride Month.
So that leap, and then we're talking elementary school kids at a Christian religious named school, and this is the type of shit you pull. After you saw the big titty woodshop teacher, you thought, you know what? This is conservative.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
It's so fascinating what makes these people think they can.
And it makes you wonder, how do you drive a bus while on poppers? And you probably ask him, and he goes, well, I'm actually good at it. I've been doing it for years. That's the problem.
I know. You're endangering the kids. You're on poppers too much.
Yeah, so everyone wants the kids to be trans, as we know, and we actually have more evidence and more proof that it is taught. Modern Family child star Aubrey Anderson Emmons, 18, comes out as bisexual. She had 2 dads.
2 dads on the gay show where they wrote them as the best characters out there, and bisexual now.
Yeah, makes sense.
Probably in name only, looking for attention. Thought she needed a New York Post article.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Let's be honest.
And then it gets worse. Our own Supreme Court had a ruling recently, and it went in our favor, but a lot of people, the women on the court did not. Can you read that?
Yeah, these 3 women said today that children should be able to get their body parts chopped off and be chemically castrated and stunt their growth. Evil. Liberal women are destroying our country. And it's the usual 3. It's the usual 3. And that was for the Tennessee Supreme Court, Tennessee banning transgender treatment on kids. I don't even want to call it treatment. You know, Tennessee banning transgender experimentation on kids, and it went all the way up to the Supreme Court.
Disfiguring and mutilating and sterilizing.
And we won, but, through those 3 people, they're looking to dissent all the time.
And you're a Supreme Court justice? What are we talking about? And 2 of them don't have children.
Yep.
So it's 2 old childless ladies who go, yeah, trans the kids. And then this guy, he did a speech at like a town hall, and he talks about his trans kids. Listen to what he says.
One last personal fact. Most trans kids know that they're trans between the ages of 3 and 7. My daughter knew around 2.5. She knew. I didn't. I often tell my kids that I'm not smarter than you. I just know different things. And the things that our kids know that we don't, those are the things that make all the difference and the ones we should really listen to. My child is not mentally ill. To begin gender-affirming care, she had to speak to more healthcare professionals than probably anyone in this room ever has.
You're not smarter than a kid?
You're not smarter than a 2 and 3-year-old?
Are you stupid? My brother, Chinese Donut Boy, when he was 3 years old, he used to wear cowboy boots that scuffed up the floors of the whole house and a Batman outfit every single day.
Yeah.
And did my parents say, oh, we're going to have to build you a high-tech cave lair?
We're going to have to stock it with bats and a Batmobile. You're smarter than us.
We got to get you some weapons.
Chinese Donut Boy, here's a gun. Here's a Ninja Star, too.
Yeah.
This guy, Dave Grohl type.
Yeah, and it's the bad version. But I don't know what happened to Dave. Is Dave Grohl a pussy?
Nah, I don't want to slander him for no reason.
Yeah, we'll look into it. But the Dave Grohl phenotype.
Yeah. You know Vince Gilligan? You know the creator of Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Do you?
No.
This guy sounds exactly like him. It's kind of crazy.
Really? Yeah. That's good to know. And then it makes you wonder what's at the base of all this trans shit, and obviously it's the devil.
Make sense?
Yeah. I think his shirt means that he is Satan.
No, it doesn't.
And that he respects his son's pronouns because his son is trans. His name is Alex. And I think because he is Satan, it means he respects pronouns.
He's a very little kid.
Don't listen to any of that.
It's hilarious that you just asked a religious scholar about Satanism. He could have gone on for like 7 days.
Wow. Awesome. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say, bro. I don't even know what the fuck to say right now.
So that kid basically said the truth, the quiet part out loud by accident. My dad is Satan, and that's why he uses special pronouns for me.
And the shirt says Satan respects pronouns.
Yeah.
He does.
Yes, that's
exactly true. Right. I agree.
Yep. And we obviously see this at all ages, too, especially in politics. This is what the Democrat Party does to Asian men. He hangs out with Dylan Mulvaney for a quick photo, and a couple months later, he's wearing a little skirt outfit, little lady boss outfit.
Those are two different guys, but I get what you wanted to do.
All right, speaking of gay Asians,
yeah,
this next guy is a combination I've never seen. It's a trans Sikh, I believe.
I speak for many who never got the chance to. I speak for every trans youth fighting to exist. Every queer elder who paved the path with their pain.
We don't have to actually listen to him.
Yeah, there's not going to be many strong points made.
And, you know, a lot of times when we point out the trans stuff, it's easy to see.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a trans, we got a guy in a dress, got a freak on the bus, got a cop, bricked up cop on poppers.
Yeah, he's driving.
But it's not always as easy. This next clip, this gorgeous woman, believe it or not, is actually a man.
Imagine walking down the street being like, oh my God, she's so gorgeous. Not knowing that I used to be a man.
What? What is up with this chick's voice?
Used to be a man? This lady's beautiful. What happened to her? What is she talking about?
Oh, man.
She's mentally ill.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
She has false memories.
All right, that's enough of the trans shit.
Yeah, you know, we just had to hit some. Pride Month's almost over, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It was a quick one.
Up.
They are. And we're going to move on. We're still in cringe to a different type of cringe. This is Alex Cooper.
Yeah. Call her daddy.
Call her daddy podcast host. And she has an interesting whore take.
My boyfriend has a very big issue with my past. He found my list of people I have been with, and he was pissed. He actually broke up with me initially, but after a while, we got back together. The issue now is, I feel like he is constantly making judgmental comments about me being easy or having a high body count. He always says he's just kidding, but how can I get him to stop caring that I was with guys before him? I feel like every single girl has a list of the guys she's ever been with. Like, how fun. I remember the men that have been inside of me, and I have a husband, and that's okay. This sounds like a really insecure or possessive man. We've all lived, we've all had a good time, and if anything, everyone we've been with prior to has helped us become the person we are today. I think your answer next time he says that, if you were just being catty, is like, what's your point? I was so easy. What's your point? Do you not want to be with me anymore? He's like, well, no, I'm just saying, like, I'm really fucking shocked, like, how easy you were. What's your point?
What's your point? The point is you can't be respected as much.
The point is, I used to value you this much, and now I realize that it's cheaper than the price was.
Yeah, and there's an old saying, a good key unlocks many locks. A bad lock is opened by many keys.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what we're dealing with here. And what she's saying is either one of two things. There's no such thing as being a whore, or there is such thing as being a whore and it's okay.
And it's good. And your boyfriend shouldn't be able to question that, right?
And then the girl she's talking about has a list of guys she's been with, AKA it wasn't two.
Yeah,
it wasn't Dave and Tom from high school.
It was Mike, the 6'7" bouncer outside of Aria House.
Yeah, she needs exactly One Oak. Someone I met at One Oak. I don't know his name. So she
brown shirt. It was brown shirt, One Oak, 2 a.m.
So she needs a list to keep track of all of the men, which is obviously a huge red flag. And we have the stats. Everyone knows this. Can you read that?
Yeah, the women who have more non-marital sexual partners are less likely to have stable marriages, and it just goes down straight from 0 all the way down to 21 plus, that's the audience that she's talking to, is the 21 plus audience.
Yep.
This is a slut giving advice to other sluts.
And going, don't stop being a slut.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. It worked for me. I'm a millionaire and I date a baseball player.
I sell advertisements on my podcast. I get paid a lot to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like the horse helping horse thing. Very bad. And that weird accusation of men are insecure and possessive. It's like, no, we just saw a list of fucking 28 names. Of course the relationship's about to change. This guy will never be the same. He saw a ghost, He'll never be the same around you. And then it's one thing from a vague past that I can kind of fill in the blanks myself, and then it'll never be exactly how bad I thought it is versus an Excel spreadsheet labeled to 38.
And you scroll like this on it.
And Jesus, you scroll and oh my God, 2022, that was horrible. You were a slut. But yeah, I don't know. And this is a death spiral. These girls all laugh at each other and they give each other advice.
And they say the guy's insecure, and it's like, nah, the guy should just break up with you and find a sweeter person.
And this shows that girls really don't understand how men work. If you were a slut giving advice to another slut who now has a boyfriend, you would say, burn the list, get rid of the list. If and are you trying to marry this guy? Nuke the list. Because that will turn a guy off and ruin his image of you forever.
Never take him home to your hometown bars where all those guys are.
So it's not even good advice. It's just like be a bitch to him about it. But yeah, this guy, he'll never see you the same. So.
Yep. And obviously no one wants an easy wife, because what kind of daughter are you going to have with that person? No, you don't really want to think about that. And how can you treat your wife like she's precious and cherish her when the whole lacrosse team cherished her for way less effort?
There's no cherishing.
You can't.
You ruined your relationship.
A McDouble is not Wagyu.
Exactly.
All right.
It's pretty simple. And that's my favorite thing is trying to characterize a man in a certain way for the way a man would, any man on earth would react to this information. Any normal high testosterone, red-blooded American, it's disgust. It's immediate disgust.
And then it's similar to like the body positivity movement, where it's like, oh, ignore how everyone feels and what society is like.
All the time.
You be fat and love it, and then the whole world will eventually change. It's like, this is a universal reaction. No guy ever wants to hear that, no matter how much money they have or how hot they are or ugly they are, tall or short. No guy wants to know that.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't want to be the one bag holding an easy wife.
So it's a girl who doesn't understand men giving men advice to other whorish women.
Exactly. All right, well, that's the end of Cringe of the Week. We are now moving on to Urban Decay. All right, Urban Decay. Our first clip, it's a white guy that was killed by the cops and no one really heard about it or cared or protested.
Yeah, so he bumped someone's car at In-N-Out, and then this is where it picks up when the cops are trying to get him out.
What's he reaching for? Is he reaching for anything? I'm gonna pin him in if he comes. Hold up! Crossfire!
And we had to blur that, but you could probably guess what happened there. And if this was a black person, I'm going to kind of flip the tables. He didn't even have a weapon. He was just in his car. He was scared for his life, trying to get away from the police because they're always killing us. He didn't even have a weapon. No one should die over a little hit and run in a parking lot like that.
This was a mental health crisis. He should have been met with a therapist or a social worker.
Yeah, just like you shouldn't lose your life over a fake 20. His criminal history doesn't matter that he was arrested a bunch of times for DUIs. No one should die like this for that reason. Let's burn down the cities now.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But no one complains.
I know.
It's just a guy who did that, and you go, yeah, you drive your car into cops. It's kind of seen as a weapon, and they're probably going to shoot you.
What do you expect?
I'm not attacked as a white person because that happened. I don't care.
Certainly not.
God bless everybody involved.
Okay.
Those, you got to flip the table a little bit.
But you didn't flip it. You just said this is what would happen.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to defend the guy vigorously and then go, just kidding. No one fucking cares.
Nah, I just did what black people would say if he was black.
Okay.
And it goes far. They defended Carmelo Anthony, who murdered somebody.
Of course. Yeah. It's not your highest level bit there. You didn't start off that strong. It's not your highest level shit.
Well, let's go to our next clip. This was at a Utah event. This is called West Fest in Utah, an event that celebrates the many cultures of West Valley City, Utah. And I don't know if you guys heard about this. We can tell you why. 8 people were shot. 3 people were killed. An 8-month-old was killed. An 18-year-old was killed. And a 41-year-old was killed. Yeah. And here's the man being arrested on the ground.
There he is. African-American 16-year-old.
He's saying you shot a baby.
You shot a fucking baby.
Yeah, but we didn't really hear about that one, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. A baby? That's egregious. That's heinous.
Killed a baby, didn't hear about it.
But no, we don't hear anything about it. And then you think about, like, we've shown everything in Urban Decay from the ketchup packet to the guacamole to pulling out the gun when your ops is there, all the stupid reasons. And this was one of those. It was a youth argument, rival youth. And then you think about how quick that person is to violence and action and ruining someone's life, and not just someone, ruining at least 5 people's lives. And then think about, like, a woman getting pregnant with her husband. They tried for 2 months, and then they finally got a positive reading, taking neonatal pills and going to the OBGYN and getting the EKG and doing all this stuff and all these steps and make sure you're doing this and make sure you're doing that. And she gave birth. It was a 12-hour delivery. All these check marks and things that you have to go through.
And your baby gets killed by a black teenager going,
yeah, and you're finally out. This is one of the first times you've gotten out. Let's go to the fair. This is Utah. It's 90% white. This is a great area.
And the 10%.
So that's how much, like, those little pieces of shit can ruin someone's life and all the hard work. Your 8-month-old, that's like 20 months of work there.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing a life, and maybe it's your firstborn child just to get fucked over by a 16-year-old black kid. And then nobody talks about it.
Yeah, and no one even brings it up. But according to Whoopi Goldberg, who is retarded, black people have it tough in America.
But let's just remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
But where the Iranian regime is today in 2025 is nothing compared to the United States.
Keep hanging black people. So
it is not even the South.
I'm telling you,
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people. I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're black.
Guys, don't go to Tehran. Do not anyone at this table should go to Tehran.
Let me tell you about being in this country. This is the greatest country in the world. But, yeah, I know that. And we all know that. But every day, we are worried. Do we have to be worried about our kids? Are our kids going to get shot because they're running through somebody's neighborhood?
Nobody wants.
Yeah, Goldberg, not surprised.
Are our kids going to be shot running through someone's neighborhood? And then 2 seconds ago, we just showed you a clip of an 8-month-old baby being shot at a happy place, a theme park, like one of those pop-up theme parks. And she's telling you, in the most inarticulate fashion possible, that they're the ones who are afraid. And Whoopi Goldberg, I edited this clip because, like, there's a lot of jabbering. You might be surprised to hear this. The View, there's a lot of jabbering. And Whoopi Goldberg is like a retarded person. No speaking, like an elderly woman hanging on to this job. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So people actually listen to this, and then Whoopi Goldberg, cries racism for the 100th time.
Saying that living in Iran is just as bad as living in America for black people because they're under attack. And then someone else said, this is a Hunger Games actor, Hunger Games star Billy Porter, America is Nazi Germany right now, and the Jews are black people.
Okay. All right. That's what intersectional means. That's what they're talking about there. And this is the guy who wears dresses on the red carpet.
And I guess depending on your political views, you could also maybe agree and say, yeah, because nothing's actually happening to him.
Ooh. Depending on which beliefs, on what you have.
So black people have it tough in America. Let's check in at Black Brunch. I'm assuming black people have to eat out back or maybe doing sit-ins or they're denied service. Let's check in on Black Brunch. Oh, they're acting entitled and ruining it for everyone else.
Shocking. Whoopi. What happened, Whoopi?
Yeah, well, there must be other examples in America where black people are being turned away, denied service because of the color of their skin. Let's check in at the spa and see how they're treated there.
So you just get the 20% off of the new member.
We need to do 20% off times 2, though, because I really need to get this. I only have 180.
And we can take off the retail.
I really want the retail, though.
Okay, so you only have 180.
I only have 180.
So do you want me to give you a $400 discount? Is that what you're asking?
Absolutely, yes.
No, ma'am. Your facial is $305.
Okay.
So you're going to have to come up with $305.
We need to get down to 180. So, what ideas do you have?
I'm out of ideas. What ideas do you have to come up with the money? The thing that's frustrating, we talked about this in the consultation. Mm-hmm. We talked about all of this.
We definitely talked about the 180 facial.
And then you booked a 60-minute hydrofacial, which is $305. Mm-hmm. You did that. I did not put that in there.
So now it's my fault.
So you booked the expensive facial, and then the lady goes, so now it's my fault. Yes.
Yeah.
It really is. You're obviously trying to rip them off and pay half price, but after getting the service.
The no shame move.
Mm-hmm.
That's like
after getting it.
I don't have shame move. Right?
Yeah. And you did the service, you got the expensive one, it's time to pay, and you go, oh, I only have 180.
Where do we go from here?
And then the lady should go, oh, I'm going to call my manager, see if she could help out. It's only a 3-digit phone number.
It's the extension. It's 911.
911.
And it's better than running out, but it's basically the same thing.
Yeah. So maybe there's other examples of racism that Whoopi Goldberg's talking about. Maybe black people are being treated poorly on public transportation, maybe refused rides or forced to sit in the back.
Back of the bus, yeah.
Let's see. Nope, they're stabbing people on the subway.
That makes sense.
So they're not being treated racistly. They are stabbing people on the subway.
Gotcha.
And next we have...
Whoopi must have proof somewhere then, right? Is she talking about that Ahmaud Arbery thing that when he was jogging, stealing from construction sites? Is she talking about that from 6 years ago? Because all these things just happened. All these things were this week.
And then we have some stats.
She must be sitting on footage.
Yeah.
Whoopi must be sitting on just catacombs of footage.
She doesn't want to release it.
She's got a basement full. Yeah.
And then we look at the stats. Suspects per capita per 1,000 residents. Gray is black. Green is other. Yellow is Hispanic. So basically green is a mix of black and Hispanic.
I would say so.
Asian is purple and barely visible. And then white is green? Blue.
When are white people and Asians going to really band together?
Yeah. Makes you wonder. That's pretty good. But maybe the racism's on social media?
Yeah, I've seen some. I've seen my Instagram. I've seen some racism.
Maybe the comments are racist or people are using social media to do racism. Let's take a look.
Nigga, what the fuck you invite me to your live for? What the fuck you even going live about me for? Fuck, nigga, cause you mad cause I said you ain't gang? You ain't gang, you ain't hanging around me and Shannon and Ray Ray and Kendrick, wait. I ain't getting all shit. Since these niggas wanna play hard on my mama, nigga, I go everywhere by myself, nigga, wait. Oh God, I ain't beefing with none of y'all. On Facebook, I ain't beefing with no nigga. On Facebook, I ain't beefing with, no, I ain't beefing with the North Side because of these niggas no more. I ain't beefing with Love Me because of these niggas no more. I ain't beefing. Fuck wrong with these niggas, cuz stop playing, bro. Spin back through. On Ray Ray, spin back through. Spin back through on Ray Ray, spin back through. Spin back through. On the race, spin back through.
So on the apps, they're doing drive-bys and murders.
Yeah, Facebook Live.
Maybe Whoopi needs to recalibrate her view.
I would say so.
Unless it's maybe happening in the judicial system. Maybe the judges are putting black people away for petty crimes.
Hey, can we go back? I know you're doing your flow through, but this kid, like, being in jail is the best case scenario for him because they can't get shot there. Like, this person will end up so dead. Oh, Ray Ray, pull on back, or whatever he says. Oh, Ray Ray, pull on back. These people, man, we shouldn't have to live amongst them.
Yeah.
All right, but go ahead.
Maybe
the judges.
Maybe the judges and the judicial system is rigged against black people. Maybe they're putting black people in jail for jaywalking and possession of marijuana and petty things. Can you read this story?
Yeah, Portland father sentenced to life in prison for killing his daughter in 2018 received a significant reduction in his sentence due to allegations of racial bias related to jury selection. Darian McWoods will be released from prison in only 1 year and 6 months. During the trial, prosecutors stated that toddler Kamaya Flores died of methadone toxicity and strangulation. She had broken ribs, bruises, and internal bleeding with traces of methamphetamine in her blood. And this is the judge who got this guy's charges dropped. Judge Jody Mooney, an LGBTQ plus judge in Portland who looks exactly how you'd expect. In an interview with the International Association of LGBTQ Judges, she said this: "I'm firmly committed to following the rule of law in a way that supports diverse and open society."
So judges are letting them off even when they kill a baby to avoid racism.
Whoopi.
I'm
starting to think Whoopi might not be right.
Yeah, Whoopi.
What happened, Mrs. Goldberg?
Yeah, what happened is right. Well, don't get too down or too depressed.
Okay.
We're now moving on to Uplifting Gold. We have some uplifting stuff.
Sounds good.
All right. Lots of uplifting stuff today.
Okay.
First, there was some kids in Boston having a fun time at a concert, and then some liberal Democrat Emerson College retard comes and she pleads with them to cancel the concert, and listen to why.
We're gonna do I'm Just Ken, everyone. I'm Just Ken. In honor. For a second. Clear your mic. Is it gonna be about the homeless people situation?
Yeah, people are sleeping here.
Yeah, people are sleeping here. I understand, but I've talked to them. They're totally okay with it. Have you talked to them?
It doesn't matter. Some people are too polite to say no. We have the luxury of going back to our dorm and going to sleep. People are sleeping here, and it's 10 p.m.
Bro, this shit is so tone deaf, bro.
It's so fucked. People are trying to fucking sleep.
It's 10 o'clock. It's Saturday night.
It's 10 p.m.
Yeah, it's a public park.
Some people don't have the luxury to have fun. Some people need to sleep. And think about that when you guys are sleeping on the 12th floor of your fucking dorm.
Let's continue.
That's Exhibit A, going all the way back to the first thing of housekeeping. That's why leftists are miserable. They're fucking so mad. You're tone deaf. You can't have fun in college.
Because street rat homeless people who are sleeping in the park are having a hard time sleeping in the park because you're having a concert and everyone's having fun.
Hey, I'll let you in on something, leftist protester type. The fentanyl makes you sleep pretty deep.
Yeah.
So don't worry about them. And this is college. This is my coming of age movie. Yeah. I'm having fun. And I don't really consider homeless people in that.
And also, like,
maybe that's why we're happier.
Yeah,
maybe
it is.
That's why conservatives are
and
happier.
Clearly, homeless people don't have standards. Mm-hmm. They don't care about their sleep quality when you sleep on a bench in the park.
Yeah.
So it's almost like ironic, and that's who she's standing up for, and she can't be happy until everything's fixed in the world. Mm-hmm. All right, next. I don't know what clip this is, but it's from a pride parade. Oh, my God. So he fell off the pride float. That's sad. I don't know why that's in there.
Yeah, too many poppers again.
I don't know why that's in. All right, next we have regional accent of the week.
Yeah, this is Regional Accent of the Week, and we're featuring Detroit. And this guy, he runs an Instagram account called The Motown Deli. It's in Detroit. If you're in the Detroit area or Michigan area, you should hit this guy up. Massive pastrami sandwiches and shit. I actually like this. We've sent this to each other.
Wait till you see the egg rolls he makes.
But look at the accent. The egg rolls aren't even the best part. This is just an accent-heavy clip.
The Motown Deli, baby. 3750 Gratiot Avenue. The corned beef capital of the world. Right here, I got our world-famous corned beef egg rolls. This is a foot long right here for $14.99. Then we got our 2 egg rolls right here. One is $6. We got a special going when you buy 2 for $9.99. Our egg rolls are the biggest in town. Bigger, better, hotter, fresher, crunchier, cheesier.
All right,
Can you cut to where he cuts it in half?
Yeah, sure. But you hear that accent, guys? That high-pitched Midwestern type Detroit accent.
Look at that sandwich.
We got to cherish our regional accents.
You run that through some Thousand Island, some Russian dressing.
Oh, yeah.
Goes crazy.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
But shout out to that guy. I like that restaurant. He's a showman. He's a social media showman. And that accent, I like people who lean into their accent. Do you ever get that when you go back to New York or Long Island? You kind of lean into it a little more. Remember your old ways.
I never talked like that.
Your family was very trying to be out of it.
Well, there's like an Italian South Shore, Long Island. Oh yeah,
water.
Get the water. Oh, let me get a coffee. We never talked like that.
If I run into an old school kind of Bears fan guy, I get a little back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It feels good.
Yeah,
better than being Somali.
Oh yeah. Way better, brother.
All right, next, this guy set up a camera, and this is what his dogs do while he's at work all day.
These are like Malinois?
Yeah. So the guy's at work, and the dogs are free to do whatever, and this is what they do. They have fun.
They like it. Hey, that's a good setup, though. You get little puppies, and you kind of let them in the garage. The garage.
A lot of clutter there that they could maybe get into some danger with.
Oh, for sure. But I'm saying like you have these active dogs, let them kind of ruin the garage, not on your couches.
Smart.
You don't follow that advice. Jerry ruined your couch.
One of my couches, but it was faux leather, so it never had a chance.
Jerry ruined his couch. And he almost ruined mine too.
But he ruined the couch after like 2 years.
That's true.
I got it in 23, and then like 6 months ago he ruined it.
Okay.
And it's a faux leather couch, so it was always ruined. All right, next, this funny old lady's ready to die.
Yeah, that's a tornado. We might die. How do you feel about that?
I'm prepared.
I'm prepared. All right, next. These kids are the Adventure Boys on Instagram. Really like this page. This is Real Americana, and these are the Adventure Boys.
I'm Justin. I'm Isaac. And I'm Joe, and we're the Adventure Boys. And today we're at the creek. We're going to catch creek chubs and the green sunfish, and we're going to make our own pond. All right, guys. We're over here fishing. Joe's fishing. Isaac's digging up the pond, and we got a little bit of fish right now. And we're going to keep stocking up. All right, guys. We got a green sunfish in there, some creek chubs. Look at this giant creek chub that Joe just pulled out. Biggest creek chub I've ever seen. This thing's huge. Oh my Lord. Whew. Yeah. All right, guys, here's the fish. Here's the pond area. Isaac's gonna pour the fish. He's gonna go get some more water, but we had to put the trash bag down because, like, to use it as like a tarp kind of, because the water was just like.
All right.
So we'll fast forward. They eventually make a new little pond area, and they eventually say, it didn't work out. We're just going to go swimming now.
Good for them.
But it's Americana. These kids are having fun. Follow them on Instagram.
Yeah, you need to be experimenting.
All right, next. This kid spent 52 days rehabilitating, I think, a caterpillar that turned into a butterfly, and he's finally releasing it and learning some other lessons as well.
Rehabilitating? I mean, he did the cocoon process. We all did this.
Yeah.
He wasn't rehabilitating anything.
First time, everybody.
He supervised the metamorphosis, right?
Supervised metamorphosis.
Make sure you throw him outside the porch so you don't go on nobody else's porch. Go.
Get ready, somebody. Do the thumbs up when you're ready. Okay. Ha!
Ooh.
bird instantly gets it.
That's life. That's life.
That's pretty good. Next, final clip of the show before shout-outs. This kid's done with school for the summer.
It's over, baby! It's over! First grade in the book! And that's the bottom line! Because Stone Cold said so! Somebody give me a hell yeah!
School's over.
All right.
That's uplifting. Kids
Sure.
love school's over.
Sure.
You don't like that?
Nah. I mean, it's funny. I don't like wrestling like that. And then Stone
Kids
Cold.
like it. All right, let's get to our shout-outs. Rat Boy's not being uplifting.
I was uplifting until that clip.
Nothing to be not uplifting about from that clip. That kid's having fun. He's a show watcher.
You want to really hear what I have to say?
Go.
Fuck that kid. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, happy birthday, everybody. Congrats on graduating to Mika with the shawl. You see the shawl?
Is this how it was spelled?
Yeah.
That's Micah.
Micah.
That's Micah.
Happy birthday, Micah. Rat Boy saved it.
Yeah. Happy graduation, you mean?
Happy graduation. Same thing.
All right. Words are just words until action actually starts, but actions speak louder than words, but at the same time. And then he is very cool. He did the whole thing on his sash.
Happy birthday. Very cool.
Is it his birthday or not?
Happy graduation.
Jesus.
I just messed it up right at the end of the show. It's no big deal. Happy graduation. All right. Happy birthday to baby George. John Gill had another child. And Angela.
She probably did most of the work, I would assume.
And baby George is enjoying his first Bonus Lamb episode.
There you go.
That's cool.
Congratulations, guys.
So is that another birthday?
Yes, happy 0 birthday. Happy born day.
See?
Micah was graduating. Wasn't his birthday.
Happy birthday to Kylie and Laura. They're new show watchers. We hope you like the show so far. And we're friends in real life now that you're show watchers. Happy birthday to Bruno on June 18th. Bruno is a nice name.
Happy birthday, Bruno.
You like the name Bruno?
Yeah, that's a pretty strong name.
Bruno.
But it's kind of, what is that, Italian originally or what?
I hope it's not Hispanic.
Bruno.
Because it's kind of Italian. It's kind of a henchman. Hey, Bruno, bring him in here.
Yeah. Hey, Bruno, rough him up.
Yeah, Bruno. Something to think about.
Okay, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Bruno. Happy birthday to Thomas Smith on June 15th as well. Him and Becky are bonus landers.
Happy
and
birthday.
he sent us golf balls, remember?
Oh, nice. Happy birthday, Thomas Smith.
Yep.
It's a standard name.
And then our last...
Tommy Smith. A lot of Tommy Smiths probably died fighting the Nazis.
So true.
So
Tommy Smith.
Good for you, Tommy.
That's a great American name. And then
English,
you have that last picture, a wedding picture.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Huma and Alex.
Yeah, congratulations on your wedding, guys.
We got married over the weekend. They're big show watchers, and they like the show, and they're thinking about sponsoring us. Yeah. They're just gonna give us some money, but then they have a couple things that they don't want us to say, but we're gonna look into it.
Write the check, Alex.
Yeah, we'll take Huma and Alex S.
All right. There you go.
All right, that's the end of the episode. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. PluckusTalks.com for Bonus Land. If you're looking for Bonus Land, you're going to love Bonus Land. 30 minutes extra show after every episode. And we are taking a 2-week vacation this summer like we do every summer. And during that time, Bonus Land is going to have content at the usual times. And everyone else is not, so it's a good time to sign up for Bonus Land. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on Tuesday.
We're headed
That's a tornado. We might die. How do you feel about that?
I'm prepared.